Good day, guys. Welcome to our discussions for today regarding painting using acrylic pen water-based. But before we proceed in that, it is very important to know what is acrylic pen and its component, characteristics, and other properties in acrylic pen. Actually, acrylic pen has two types: the chemical-based or oil-based acrylic pen and the water-based. This video or this topic, we're going to discuss first the water-based pen, acrylic pen. What is acrylic pen? Back in 1955, water-based acrylic was first commercially available, made for artists. News of its huge scope, ease of use, and reliable performance quickly spread, and now acrylic is the globe's most popular art medium. Water-based acrylic pen is composed of pigment particles dispersed in an acrylic polymer emulsion. There are three main components in any acrylic pen: the acrylic resin, binder, and pigment. Acrylic resin is a polymer from which acrylic emulsions are made. High-quality acrylic resin is a necessary component of high-quality acrylic polymer emulsion. Binder. A binder is an acrylic polymer emulsion made from acrylic resins. It is the binder that gives the pen its handling and durability characteristics. Pigment. It is a dry, powdery materials that do not dissolve but remain suspended when mixed with acrylic polymer emulsion. They are organic, inorganic, natural, and synthetic. They have little or no affinity for the surface to which they are applied. A binder is necessary to adhere pigments to a painting surface and coalesce into a paint film. Characteristics of acrylic pens. It is water-soluble colors while wet, permanent, water-insoluble, flexible colors when dry. Built-up surfaces will remain free of cracks and chips, less flexible in cold weather, softer in warm weather. Air dry by evaporation. Thin paint films 10 to 20 minutes. Thick paint films, it takes 1 hour to 3 days. Surface of a dry acrylic painting can be cleaned by gently washing with soap and water. Keep brushes wet. Clean up brushes, hands, and palette with soap and water. Leather odor, no fumes, non-flammable. Uses non-toxic thinners and mediums. Let's do not mix with turpentine or oils. Mix only with other acrylic emulsion pens or mediums. Cleaning up acrylic pens. Or how do we clean acrylic pens? From hands. Wet or dried acrylic pen cleans up with soap and water. From brushes. Clean with brushes with soap and water. Clean dried acrylic brushes with acetone, denatured alcohol, or equivalent product. These cleaning solutions are toxic. Care should be taken during use. From clothing. While pen is wet, clean with water and or window cleaner. Dried acrylic paint is permanent on fabric. From painting surface. While paint is wet, Wipe with damp rag, clean with water. When paint is dry, simply paint over surface with desired colors and motif. Acrylic paint on market. Acrylics are sold in two types on the market. They are the first type, tubular shapes, maybe in the form of metal or plastic. The other type of seal is plastic jars. There's no difference in color between the two species. The amount and budget you will use when purchasing is very important. Acrylic paints drying time. Acrylic paint drying time is not very long. After an average of 30 minutes, it starts drying. You have to be clear about the details of the painting until this time frame. The drying time in acrylic paints can only be spread over a period of time such as 1 hour completely dry. The thing to note here is that although the paint is slightly dried, you cannot mix the paint with the new part. Acrylics dry like a thin surface. It looks as though the surface of the canvas is covered with a thin plastic layer. What makes acrylics so special? They dry quickly, 10 to 12 minutes for thin applications, and longer time for thick applications. They flex. You can clean them up with water when wet, and they're permanent when dry. They come in a range of consistencies and formats to suit you. They stick to almost any surface. They work across styles and techniques, from experimental applications to traditional painting styles. They are low odor, with no fumes, and are non-flammable. You can change their character with mediums. Do's and don'ts in acrylic pen. Thinning. Acrylic should never be thinned with more than 25% water. Why? Too much water will upset the balance and spread the acrylic polymer too thinly so the molecules can't reconnect properly to form a stable film. Instead, you should dilute with an acrylic medium. This is essentially the same as the paint but without the color pigment. This way, you're adding more of the acrylic or water emulsion to keep the formula and film stable. Transparency. When wet, an acrylic water emulsion has a slightly milky appearance and becomes transparent as the paint dries. This milkiness slightly lightens the value of the color. As water leaves the emulsion and the binder clarifies, the value of the color darkens. This color change is commonly called the wet to dry color shift and is most noticeable with dark transparent pigments like alizarin and less noticeable with light opaque pigments like cadmium yellow. Flexibility. Acrylic paint films aren't keen on the extreme cold, so don't attempt to roll, to unroll, or flex acrylic paintings in temperatures below 45 degrees Fahrenheit as they will be more brittle. Tips and techniques. This is the useful guides to using acrylics. Number 1. How to achieve watercolor effects with acrylics. You can make your acrylic colors behave like watercolors simply by thinning with a professional medium. Soft body acrylics and acrylic inks have a fluid consistency that build like traditional watercolors, and due to the permanent nature of acrylics, you can build them without dissolving the layers. Always allow washes to soak into the paper so that it binds the color. Choosing a surface. High quality or heavier papers made from 100% cotton rag will give you the best results. They hold more water, warp less, and allow for more layering of washes. Cold press paper is rough and absorbent, whereas hot press paper is smooth and not as porous. If working with hot press paper, try mixing your colors with fluid additive. 1 part fluid is to 20 parts distilled water. To give deeper stains and more even application, to achieve watercolor effects on a non-absorbent surface such as prime canvas, you can use airbrush medium to thin and bind your colors, giving a stable pen felt. Applications and techniques. Transparent and semi-opaque acrylic ink or soft body colors will give the closest watercolor effects. Mix with fluid additive for greater fluidity and transparency. 1 part fluid is to 20 parts distilled water. For hard edge brush marks, use dry paper. For soft edge and bleed brush marks, first dampen your paper with distilled water or slow dry fluid additive. Then use acrylic watercolor mix with fluid. This reduces surface tension for softer edges. For ultra soft edge brush marks, dampen paper with fluid, then apply washes for deeper saturated color. Working wet into wet creates atmosphere. To slow drying time, mix slow dry fluid additive into distilled water. 4 parts water is to 1 part slow dry. This allows your paint to be manipulated for longer. Masking essentials. Protect the dry paint film from fresh applications by covering areas with masking tape and or fluids. It's best to mark white paper before you start painting and after each color application to protect the details. For straight lines, use drafting or Scotch 811 tape. Its low adhesive tack won't damage painted areas when removed. Apply fresket or masking fluid with a brush or pin. Simply remove the fluid by rubbing away with your finger or using a rubber cement eraser. Number 2. See how to create acrylic skins with soft body. I will show you how to intermix soft body acrylics with pouring medium to create durable acrylic skins. Find out how to mix, pour, and form your skin before using it to add a 3D element to your work. Watch out these videos.